Hi Paparazzi, this is Miranda. In this getting started training video, I'm just going to give you a high level rundown of the power behind the app, just show you all of the features, the main features in Paparazzi Premier. Our main goals for this training session are to get you started, obviously, in the app, get you through your merchant account application, and then just show you a few settings and important things that'll get you started on the right foot in Premier. So to roll right into the tour of the app, Paparazzi Premier is an all-in-one selling platform designed to consolidate your business, combine your sales tools, and simplify your day-to-day. This is also tailored to paparazzi consultants specifically, and we're constantly evolving and updating the app, and all of those updates inspired by your feedback. So the more you tell us what you want, the better we can make the app for your business. With Paparazzi Premier, you've got options. Premier supports the way you want to sell. You can create and send invoices right from the app. You can sell through your Premier online store. You can also conduct in-person sales with Paparazzi Premier. And we also have a built-in live selling tool called Reply to Buy. And I'll get into the details of all of these sales channels in just a few moments. But whether you're selling at an event, on Facebook Live, or through your online storefront, every order, no matter where it comes from, is managed in one central place right in the app. To go into a little bit more detail on invoicing, like I said, you can build invoices on demand right in your app or your online portal. You also have a bunch of customization settings for taxes, shipping, due dates, and much more. And I'll show you how to set all of those up after we get you through your merchant account application. You also have a batch invoicing feature in the online portal for those of you who are managing a very high volume of sales. You also have your online store, which is included with your Premier account at no extra cost to you. This is shoppable 24/7. You have the option to keep it open or closed, turn it on or off whenever you'd like to. I like to emphasize that this is your Premier online store because this is very separate from your replicated site that you have with Paparazzi. So when I say your personal online store, that means your personal inventory, your own website. You can also customize your online store by creating bundles or collections. And if you want to go into more detail or learn about those in more detail, then I would encourage you to watch the inventory best practices training video in this same series. With your online store, like I mentioned earlier, as customers buy, orders come straight into your app where you can handle fulfillment from there. And your inventory in Premier syncs and updates automatically as purchases are made. You also have a few cool features in your online store. If you look at the top of this screen here, you'll see that there's a register tab. You can go here and send this link to your customers so they can register their info with your Premier store. Whatever they enter here will automatically be saved to your Premier store, and you can find all of this information in your customers feature in the app. You also have a Join My Team tab up there. That's just a link that's going to take customers or family or friends over to the Paparazzi website. If you know anyone who's interested in becoming a Paparazzi consultant, when they use that link and sign up with Paparazzi, they are signing up with you as their sponsor. As I also mentioned earlier, you can conduct in-person sales using Paparazzi Premier. You can use this as your point of sale system. Premier was initially launched with in-person sales in mind, so you can create orders on the go or at events. And when you use Premier for in-person sales, you can accept cash, credit or debit card payments, and checks. As I also mentioned earlier, Premier has a built-in live selling tool called Reply to Buy. And how this works is when you connect your app to your Facebook business account, and yes, it does have to be a Facebook business account, it turns your Facebook comments into sales. So when a customer successfully claims an item in your Facebook Live, Premier is going to send them a link to their shopping cart in your online store via Facebook Messenger. When they get to their shopping cart, they'll see all of the items that they successfully claimed, and then they can check out right away, or they can come back and keep commenting on your live to add more items to their cart until they're ready to check out. Once they do pay for their order, again, that will land right in your app where you can go and find all of the information and get it ready to ship. Premiere is also used largely as an inventory management tool. And what sets us apart from any other platform that you might be using to manage your Premiere or manage your paparazzi inventory is that we're synced directly with the paparazzi back office. So after you place a wholesale order, that order will appear right in your Premiere app under the receiving tab. When you open the menu, you'll see that receiving option. All of your wholesale orders that you place after you get started with Premiere are going to automatically be sent there. So because we're directly linked to your back office, there's no more need to chase down any product info. When you receive a wholesale order, every SKU, product name, product image, and even product weights all flow straight into your app. We're also partnered with Shipping Easy as your preferred shipping solution with Paparazzi Premiere. Shipping Easy has created 2 subscription plans uniquely for paparazzi consultants. So you'll see the first one is called Paparazzi Lite. That's a free monthly plan that gets you up to 25 shipments per month. But I'm going to assume that we're all selling much more than that, and you're probably wanting unlimited shipments. So that paid monthly subscription is only $9.99, and that gets you, again, unlimited shipping. With Shipping Easy, you also get commercial rates. And this also just sets you up for faster order fulfillment. It saves you a ton of time. And again, because the integration between Premiere and Shipping Easy is a two-way street. So all of the customer information and order information is automatically sent from Premiere and saved to Shipping Easy. Once a label is created, then Shipping Easy sends that info back to your app and moves all of your paid orders over into the completed status once they are shipped. And on top of all of this, you no longer have to manually weigh any of your packages, again, because we are directly linked to your paparazzi back office and we know all of the weights associated with every piece of paparazzi jewelry. Premiere and Shipping Easy are able to automatically calculate your shipping costs based on all of those weights of your shipping packages. When it comes to being funded with Paparazzi Premiere, if you look at the screen, what you'll see here is your ProPay prepaid MasterCard, which has been dubbed by many consultants as the pink card. So when I have my pink card, I'm able to access my funds instantly as soon as they're made available to me. So if I make a sale to you today, the funds from that sale are going to be available in my ProPay account tonight, just shortly after midnight Mountain Time. And again, if I have my card, I can access those funds immediately and start spending them directly from my card. I can use this card anywhere MasterCard is accepted. And if you want to go into more detail on all things funding and all things your pink card, then I would encourage you to go watch my Managed Funds training video. You can also use Premiere to track all of your customer information. So if you're storing all of this in a spreadsheet or something like that, you can go ahead and throw that away. But before you do that, we do have a customer import tool in the Paparazzi Premiere online portal. So if you're moving to Premiere from another platform, you can download all of your customer information from your other platform and upload it into Premiere and get it all set up. But saving customer information is just super helpful so that it's readily available for any of those orders that require shipping. And like I mentioned earlier, your customers can also register with your store in your online store so that their information is already filled in when they're ready to place their first order. You also do have a guest checkout option for conducting in-person sales, which you can use as a shortcut if you need a quick checkout without customer information saved. This is really great for if you've got a big long line forming when you're selling at a vending event and you don't want to take all of the time to enter all of their information on the spot. You do have that guest checkout option. You also have a few reporting tools within the Paparazzi Premiere app. So in your settings, you'll find weekly and yearly sales summaries, as well as a few downloadable credit card transactions and fees reports. This is super great for prepping for taxes every year, or if you're wanting to track your sales growth, you have access to all of your Premiere sales data right here in the app in reports. And something that we announced at last year's convention is that we brought Premiere to the big screen. So it was a very high demand request that you wanted Paparazzi Premiere on your laptop or desktop device. So we went ahead and released this with our main features. And now that dashboard is released, that is a part of that too. So right now you can access your dashboard on the big screen, as well as invoicing, which also includes batch invoicing, again, for those who are dealing with a large volume of invoices on a regular basis. I know many consultants have reported back, and some even saying that it made their invoicing process up to 4 times faster. So it's a really great tool to use if you have a high volume of invoices that you're managing. Along with the dashboard and invoicing, you also have inventory management and customer management in the online portal. And I also mentioned that customer importing tool a second ago. We also have an importing tool for your sales receipts. So these are just a few tools that make it easier for you to switch from another platform if you need to do so. All right, so that was kind of my lightning speed rundown of all of the main features in the app. And so now I'm going to show you or walk you through your ProPay merchant account application. So just logging in for the first time and then getting the application filled out. I'm going to go through all of the main points, all of the information that you're going to provide, what it's going to be used for, where it's going to show up later on, and where you can edit it later on if you need to change things throughout your business journey. A few questions before we get started. What is this going to cost me? So this is only going to cost you $7.50. This is a one-time merchant account application fee. You'll never have to pay the $7.50 again. There's no annual fees associated with using Premier to manage your business. No annual fees associated with using ProPay to process your transactions. The only time this cost may be higher today upon your initial application is if during this process you opt into purchasing a ProPay card reader. It is an optional purchase, and I can show you where you can go later on to purchase one if you're not ready to do so today, but I'll get to that when we get to that step in the application. How long is this going to take me? We've designed this process to only take you 10 minutes or less. Here in a few slides, I do have a short list of things that you're just going to want to have ready and in front of you so that you're able to fill those in as we go through the application. So if you do not have the app downloaded yet on your mobile device, I do have these 2 QR codes up here. If you'd like to pause and scan these and get these installed on your device, you can do that now. As soon as the app is downloaded onto your device, go ahead and open the app and tap Sign In on that welcome screen. You're going to see a pop-up that says it wants to use wayru.com to sign in. Just go ahead and click Continue. That's just going to bring up a browser inside of the app that will show you the login screen where you can sign up. Next to Don't Have an Account, tap Sign Up. Here you're going to enter the email address that you have on file with Paparazzi Accessories. So whichever email address you use to sign up or that you use to log into your back office. Underneath that, you're going to enter the name for your account and then hit Sign Up. You're going to receive an email from Wayru to activate your account by verifying your email address. So go over to your email inbox and look for that email. If you don't find the email at first, go ahead and check your spam folder. Sometimes it lands there. Or you may not have entered the right email address. So go back and make sure that you did give us the correct email address that you have on file with Paparazzi. Premier is only available to Paparazzi consultants, so the system is only going to grant access to users with the email address it has on file from Paparazzi. So again, if you're still not seeing that email, just go in and triple check that you used the correct email. Once you do find the email from Wayru, go ahead and open it and click that Verify Email button, and it'll redirect you to set up your password for Premier. Once you choose a strong password, go ahead and tap Activate, and then you'll see a confirmation message. Once you see that confirmation message, go ahead and go back to the Premier app and log in using those credentials that you just set up. So once you've logged in successfully for the first time, you're going to see this hot pink screen, and this is the beginning of your ProPay merchant account application. What your merchant account does is give you the ability to accept credit and debit card payments. And like I mentioned earlier, this is that short list of things that we just recommend you have on hand just to get you through this application process as quickly as possible. So the first thing you'll see on this list is your social security number or your ITIN if you need to use that instead. We've got some questions in the past. Why does Premier or ProPay need my social security number? This is just because ProPay as a payments provider needs this to verify your identity, number one. And number two, this is also an IRS requirement so that they can send you your 1099 form when it's time to get ready for tax season. And just to note on that, when you sell through Premier, you will receive a separate 1099 from ProPay. You get one from Paparazzi, that's one of them, but you will get a separate one from ProPay. So just be on the lookout and be ready to receive two of those. If your business is registered as an LLC with the IRS, you're going to need to have your EIN number handy. You're also going to need a bank account information, so bank account number and a routing number for whatever account you would like to have connected to your ProPay account. That way you can transfer funds into or out of your account if and when you need to. And then lastly, you're just going to need a credit or debit card payment for, again, that one-time setup fee of $7.50, and then also that optional purchase of a card reader if you choose to purchase one today. This first screen of your merchant account application is just going to be where you enter all of your business information. You'll notice that many of the fields throughout this application are going to be pre-filled with whatever information you already have on file in your back office. Again, because we're directly linked, we do have access to this. So we've just filled in as many fields as we can just to make this process as speedy for you as possible. Again, you can edit any of this information during this application and it won't reset anything in the back office. So if you need to change things here, you won't need to worry about everything being all mixed up in your back office. That first field right there is where you're going to enter your business name. In parentheses, you'll see that it says DBA name. That stands for doing business as. So whatever name you have for your Paparazzi business is what you're going to enter here. This is going to be displayed in your online store, all of your invoices, receipts, and is also going to be displayed on your customer's credit card statements. So anytime they make a purchase from your Premier store, this DBA name is what's going to appear on that line item in their credit card statement. You're also going to want to enter your business email. This can be any email that you use to run your business. This is what is going to get sent to ProPay. So they're going to use this email to communicate with you if they need to contact you about your account. Business phone number. This is just going to be whatever phone number, again, that you like to use to manage your business with. Your business address here at the bottom. I have a few notes on this. If you operate your business out of your home, this should be your home address. And I know earlier I mentioned that this information is going to be displayed in your online store, invoices, receipts, all of those things, but I don't want you to worry about your home address getting blasted out to all of your customers. I'm going to show you later in this video where you can go in your settings in Premier to update and edit your address information so you can set up separate home address, mailing address, and all of those things. This also cannot be a PO box because ProPay has to have a real address associated with your merchant account so that they can send you those important documents. But again, I will show you where you can go in and set up a separate mailing address in your settings that can be a PO box. If you scroll to the very bottom of the screen, this is where you're going to indicate your business type. If you do operate your business as an LLC registered with the IRS, you will need to enter your business legal name and your EIN number. If you know, then you know. If you don't, then obviously you don't have to worry about it. You can more than likely leave the business type as the default. I believe it's individual sole proprietorship. So if you are an LLC, click that drop down, select that, and that's when you'll see those additional fields expand below where you will enter your EIN number and your business legal name. This next screen is just going to be where you enter your legal information for your own self. This is going to be your first name and your last name. Your middle name is optional. If you selected LLC on the previous page, you'll see this extra field appear right here where you'll enter additional ownership percentages. So if you have any co-owners of your Paparazzi business, this is where you can indicate that. One thing to note here is that ProPay only needs additional ownership info if your co-owners or just co-owner own 25% or more of your business. And you can enter up to a fourth additional business owner. But let's say your co-owner only owns 10% of your business. You don't need to enter that information here. Again, ProPay only needs additional info for 25% ownership or more. Then next, this is also where you're going to enter your social security number, or again, if you have an ITIN number that you use instead, you can enter that here. And then below that, you'll see two different fields for your phone numbers. If you do have a separate daytime and evening phone number, of course, you can go ahead and enter those here. But if you do not, you can just enter the same one in both fields. But you do need to enter something in each field in order to move forward. And then at the very bottom of this screen is where you're going to confirm your home address. This is just another place where we tried to speed things up for you, and we just went ahead and defaulted this to be the same as the business address that was confirmed on the last screen. Of course, if this is different, you can go ahead and toggle this off, and it will expand those extra fields where you can enter the appropriate home address information. This is going to be where ProPay sends any tax documents, your ProPay card, your pink card if you request one, and a card reader if you purchase one. Again, you can customize this anytime in your settings if you want to have a different mailing address, such as a PO box option. And then in this step, this is where you're going to enter that banking info for whatever account you want to have connected to your ProPay account. So again, this is just for any time you want to transfer funds into or out of your ProPay account. And then on the screen, this is just a summary of any fees and rates. The only thing that reflects anything to do with what you have to pay today is, again, that $7.50 at the top. Everything you see below the processing fees, none of this reflects anything that's due to you today. This is just shown to you, put in front of you by ProPay as a legality before you accept the terms and conditions and move forward. If you want to take a picture of this or screenshot this, you can. This is just helpful information if you're ever curious about what these processing fees are. However, you do always have this information available to you in the app if you open your menu and go to reports, and you have a limits, rates, and fees section where you can click on that and you can check on these and review them anytime you're curious about what these are. And this is that step I mentioned earlier where you can purchase a card reader during this application. This is where you can do that. If you don't do any in-person sales, then I'll go ahead and tell you that you probably don't need to purchase a card reader. However, if you do process a lot of in-person transactions, this card reader is going to save your life. It's going to speed up your checkout and save you a ton of time, especially if you're processing a high volume of transactions in one setting. If you've got a line forming, being able to tap and go is going to make for a much faster checkout experience. If you're not ready to purchase this today, I can show you where to go in the app into your settings and purchase one anytime you're ready. All right, this is going to be your order summary for today. This is the screen that actually does reflect what is due to you today. Again, it's that one-time setup fee of $7.50. And if you opted into purchasing a card reader on the previous screen, that is going to be added to your total here on this screen. Below this, here's another place where we tried to speed this up as much as you can. We went ahead and defaulted your billing address to be the same as your home address. But again, of course, if that's different, you can toggle that off and enter the appropriate billing address for whichever payment method you use here on this next screen. So here is where you're going to enter the payment info that you'd like to use to pay for your setup fee and that optional card reader purchase. Once you submit your payment, you should be approved for ProPay in seconds. If there were any issues with your application, then ProPay is going to use the email address that you provided to contact you directly. All right, so now that we've applied for your merchant account, what's next? So once you're approved, you're ready to roll. You can start selling right away. But before you send out your first invoice, I'm just going to highlight a few key settings, just some things that you might want to customize that will save you some time and headaches later on. I'm not going to go through every setting in too much detail. I'm just going to show you the shortcuts to the most important ones that will get you started on the right foot. The very first thing that we recommend you go ahead and do is request your pink card. So if you open your menu and hit settings and scroll down to the payment processing and banking section, you'll see the ProPay card option. Click on that, and on that next screen, you'll see the request card button. Again, what is the pink card? This is your prepaid MasterCard that holds all of your funds from sales that you make with Premier. Why do you want your pink card? This will give you instant access to your funds once they land in your merchant account. Again, if I make a sale to you today, the funds from that sale will be available to me tonight, shortly after midnight Mountain Time. And when you have your pink card, those funds, like I said, are already automatically available on your card. So there's no need to transfer any of your funds to this card. You can access them instantly. You can also skip any transfers to a bank account to access them that way. You can skip those transfer times and those transfer fees. A few notes on your pink card. Once you request your card, this can take up to 4 to 6 weeks to be delivered. So during that time frame, I want you to make sure you go through all of your mail because it comes in a very plain and discreet envelope. So while you're waiting, I want you to look for an envelope coming from Global Payments. That's they own ProPay, and they're going to be the ones sending you your card. It doesn't get super exciting until you open it up and see the mailer that comes with your card. And once you open this, you'll see a phone number on the card that you can call to activate your card. However, we have added all of the tools that you need into the app for you to do this all on your own super quickly. So we've tried to provide you with all the tools that you need to stay off the phone with customer support. So again, while you can call that phone number to activate your account, you can do everything you need to do right in the app. So you can activate your card, set your PIN, view all of your information. Again, all of that is available in your app. Now I'm just going to go to your settings in your Premier app, and I'm going to work from the top of the screen down. So if you want to open your app and follow along with me, the first setting that I want to show you and recommend that you review and get set up is going to be your store policies and receipt signature. So the app already comes pre-downloaded or preloaded with default messaging. I would just encourage you to review this and update it with your own store shipping and return policies. This information is going to be visible to your customers on all of their invoices and receipts, as well as your online store. That receipt signature option at the bottom is just for fun. It's just a customization that you can add if you want to add the XOXO at the bottom of your receipts, or thank you for shopping with me. Again, it's just an optional customization. The next setting that you'll want to go in and look at is make sure you're aware of what your default inventory settings are. So this one right here refers to the visibility of your inventory in your online store as inventory is added to Premier. So you have two options, on or off. In this screenshot, you see that I have it toggled on. What this tells my app is that every time I add inventory to my Premier app, whether I'm receiving a wholesale order or maybe I'm scanning items with my camera or a barcode scanner to add it to my inventory, when I have this turned on, this just tells my app to keep it automatically or make it automatically available in my store as soon as I add it. On the flip side of that, if I have this turned off, this just tells my app that anytime I add inventory to my Premier store, it's going to keep it hidden from my online store until I decide to go in later and choose when to make it available in my online store. And the way I can do that is by going to my inventory and tapping the eyeball icon. When it's filled in like this, this means that it's currently visible in my online store, available to sell. If I tap on this and I see a slash go through the eyeball and I hit save, that means it's hidden from my online store. And the reason I might want to have this turned off is because if I like to give my live shoppers on Facebook Live first access to my new inventory, I'll keep this hidden from my online store until after I've shown all of my live shoppers that exclusive first look at my new inventory. So, or if you do pre-claims with your VIP groups, that would be another reason you would want to keep this off, again, just to give those groups that exclusive first look. If you make most of your sales in your online store, I would recommend that you keep this turned on so you can start selling that inventory right away. There's no right answer to this default setting. This just depends on your business and how you like to handle your inventory. There's a lot more detail on how all of this works in conjunction with your online store. in our online store training video in this series. So go and check that one out. The next setting that I would encourage you to go in and get all set up is your invoice due dates and reminders. So setting an invoice due date just gives your customers an incentive to pay for their invoice before it expires. Any expired invoices will automatically be canceled by the app, so you don't have to go through and clean up all of those unpaid orders. The app keeps it organized for you and gives you back your inventory. So again, when an invoice expires, Premier will automatically cancel that and take all of the inventory from that invoice and put it back into your available inventory. You can set the number of days a customer has to pay their invoice, or you can schedule all invoice due dates to be on the same day each week. So if I like to do my invoices every Friday, I can set that up here by going to the weekly tab. You can also set up reminder emails. So when you do this, this just tells the app when you'd like to automatically resend an invoice to customers who haven't paid yet. So this is just another setting that spares you the task of manually chasing down unpaid invoices yourself, and overall just helps reduce the number of missed sales. The next thing you're going to want to do is go in and get all of your shipping rules set up. So that first one that you see at the top is your free shipping setting. This is the minimum dollar amount that qualifies any order for free shipping. And by any order, I mean this applies to your online store orders, your reply to buy orders, which are online checkout orders, as well as anytime you as the consultant are in your app or your online portal creating an invoice or an order yourself. So again, anytime an order meets this minimum dollar amount, it's going to automatically qualify that order and for free shipping and apply free shipping for you. If you're not sure what to set this at, a good tip or a good trick is to figure out what your average sale amount is and set this to the next price up. So in terms of $8, if my average ticket sale is $32, I'm going to set this to minimum dollar amount to be $40, just to encourage all of my customers to be adding that one more piece and get that free shipping. The next section allows you to set up your shipping by weight. So you can set your preferred shipping rates by weight so you never lose money on extra shipping costs. Again, no more guessing the weight and paying more after you've already charged a flat rate. Again, because your app is connected to your back office, it already knows all of the weights of your inventory items. So this will help you calculate shipping costs more accurately. You also have the option to set up shipping cost presets. So think of these as your shipping cost shortcuts. If you do not calculate shipping by weight, this is just a quick shortcut for applying shipping costs when you're creating an order. So here you're just going to want to enter your 2 most common shipping prices. When you're creating an order, you'll always see 3 shipping cost presets. That's because Premier always gives you a free preset option, and then we let you pick the other 2 preset options. So for example, maybe I'm doing a $1 shipping weekend this upcoming weekend. So I'm going to go in here and type in $1 for one of my presets. That way, every time I'm creating an invoice in my app, I can super quickly with one tap override whatever shipping cost is being calculated with that $1 shipping charge. Again, you'll always have the free preset option, and these will always override whatever is being automatically calculated. At the bottom of this screen, you can also turn on the online order pickup option for your customers. So if you have this turned off, then this won't appear in your online store. But when you have this turned on, your customers during checkout will see a checkbox that they can select if they prefer to pick up their order rather than having to pay for shipping. So if they live close enough to you, they can skip paying for shipping. You can skip having to fulfill that order if they select that order pickup option. When you turn it on, you can enter the pickup address that you would like to have visible to your customers. And then I didn't scroll all the way down for this screenshot, but if you scroll down even further, you can even include pickup instructions. The next item is that you can go in and turn on your customer rewards. So Premier now tracks the Paparazzi buy 10, get 1 customer rewards program. So if you offer this to your customers, you can track this using the app. When you turn this on, your customers will start earning points and rewards. This is another reason why saving customer information is super helpful. If you want to share your registration link from your online store with your customers, a good way to encourage them to do this is that they can start earning points and earning rewards. We have had a few consultants call in with customers complaining that they thought they had more points, they thought they had more rewards, but it's not being calculated correctly. And 9 times out of 10 will 10 times out of 10, actually, it's typically because customers don't realize that sometimes they're checking out under 2 different customer records when they use a different email each time they check out. It's a super easy thing to miss, but it is super common. So if you do have customers calling in wondering why their rewards aren't quite adding up, that's typically why. But you as the consultant do have the ability to go in and adjust points and rewards yourself. So if you need to combine those for your customer, you can do so. The next thing you're going to want to do is just go ahead and turn on your online store. We always tell consultants that you shouldn't worry about getting a bunch of inventory loaded into your Premier app before you start selling with Premier. You can start with 0. We have tools in the app that allow you to add pieces on the fly if you need to. We have generic SKU options if you don't have the barcode with you anymore. We have tools that allow you to get started from 0. Just go for it. Even if you start with maybe 10 items, you can always just add more over time. You'll see that you have the link to your online store right there that you can share directly from your app with your customers. So just go ahead and turn your store on, send your link to your customers and start training them to go shop with your store. Along with your online store, we also have the cart timer feature in Premier. So this obviously just gives your customers a time limit on how long they can hold items in their shopping cart before they have to check out. When you set this up, just know that anytime a customer adds a new item to their cart, this timer does restart. So we do allow you to go up to, I believe, 7 days on a cart timer, but just keep that in mind. Again, they can add a new item and that cart timer starts all the way over. So make sure you set this up for however works best with the way you like to handle your inventory. When the cart expires, Premier does take all of that inventory and put it back into your available inventory. So it's a really nice tool to have set up. And then the final things you're going to want to do in this setup process is go ahead and connect to all of the add-ons available with Paparazzi Premier. So if you open your settings in your app and scroll all the way to the bottom of the screen, you'll see these add-ons listed. The option for Facebook is going to be listed as reply to buy. So if you click on that, that's where you can connect to your Facebook business account. That way you're all set up and ready for the first time you want to go live and use reply to buy. The second one is Shipping Easy. You can also connect to Shipping Easy, again, straight through the app. You can connect to an existing account or you can create a new one using the link that you find in the Shipping Easy option. You can start out with a 7-day free trial if you just want to go ahead and get in there. If you don't have an account yet, you can go in and click around for about a week and learn the tool. But again, it's just going to save you so much time when it comes to fulfilling all of your shipping orders. And then the last thing is PayPal. You can now connect your Premier app to an existing or a new PayPal account. When you're connected to a PayPal account, this just gives your customers that additional checkout option when they are completing a purchase in your online store or if they are paying for an invoice through the invoice portal. If you're not connected to a PayPal account, it just won't show up there, but we do recommend this for those of you who have customers that prefer to pay through PayPal. Something to note on this is that any order that is paid for with PayPal, those funds are going to land in your PayPal account. So if you make a sale and they paid with PayPal and you don't see those funds being reflected in your ProPay balance, that doesn't mean the transaction didn't go through. That just means that those funds are over in your PayPal app. So if you want to manage all of those funds in one place, you do have an option to transfer funds to your ProPay account. So if you want to move that over from PayPal to your ProPay account, you can do that.
Yeah.
And then my last slide here is just a list that I've created for you. This is just a list of all of the things that I went over in this training video. If you'd like to take a picture of it, share it with your team, share it with your downline, you can. If you scan this barcode, it's going to take you to the Wayru Help Center, where I've created 2 guides for you all. So the first one is going to be a quick start guide, which is essentially, again, everything I went over in this training video. And then I have a complete setup guide that goes into a lot more detail and a lot more customization settings and all the options that you have in Premiere. Before I wrap this up, I'm going to go over into the app and address those points that I made earlier when you were filling out your ProPay account application. I mentioned that if you run your business out of your home, then you would have to enter your home address, but this is what gets displayed in your invoices, receipts, etc. I'm going to go in and show you where you can edit all of this and set up extra address information. So I'll flip over to that now. And when you're in the app, you're going to want to go into the top left-hand corner and open the menu and go to your settings. Under store settings in the second section right here, just hit address information. And this is where you can set up a separate home address and a mailing address. So over here, down here is where you can enter a PO box if you'd like to use that to have documents and important items sent to you from ProPay. And then again, if you have a separate home address, enter this here. And then again, whichever you want to have displayed on your invoices, receipts, and online store, this is the place where you can set that up. So you can edit this anytime you want. It's always available to you, again, over here in settings under store settings. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out the rest of the videos in this series. Bye, Paparazzi.